What's your favorite type of heavy machinery?
I really like the motor grader, which is the machine that grades the gravel road.
I had that queued right up. I didn't get the appointment. Line
Mr.
for brownfield redevelopment. Here to demystify the operations and functions of the Transit Authority, materials management, veteran services, CNH. Buy your grandma some AirPods. Break it down into more layman's terms. We're just here to have a little bit of fun. Howdy, everybody. Welcome back to Ottawa Out Loud, the official podcast of Ottawa County. I'm Scott, your host, and this is episode 6, and I'm super excited that we've made it this far. First of all, that's pretty sweet. If you've been sticking with us since episode 1, thank you for being one of the OGs of the OC, as I say, and I'm really looking forward to producing more of these episodes to inform and entertain and just generally have a good time. Talking about local government, which I think we need a little bit more of in this world. Today's episode is going to be centered all around the Ottawa County Road Commission, what they do, how they are organized, because it's a little bit different than what a lot of people think, and how their work will be impacting your driving experience this summer as we enter construction season, as I like to call it. I actually already recorded that segment, and I'm going to spoil it for you. It was great. It was a great segment. I learned a lot of stuff, and we had a really good time. Very informative, so stay tuned for that. We'll get into that in just a moment. But first, folks, we got some announcements, and I've got quite a few here today, so listen up. Focus. Lock in. First things first here, we have housing solutions and supply data updates. Housing issues continue to make headlines in West Michigan. Curious about what the latest numbers actually show? On Tuesday, June 17th, from 8:30 to 9:45 a.m., local officials, community partners, and the public are invited to join Housing Next as it presents the most recent data from the Ottawa County Housing Needs Assessment, a comprehensive study first conducted in 2018 to better understand the county's evolving housing market and anticipate future needs. This will be a cool event if you're interested in learning more about housing supply in Ottawa County, and I think there'll be some good information here. This event is free and open to the public, so that's you, but registration is required because there's just going to be limited space in the main conference room at the Fillmore Administration Building, which is where the event will be hosted, so please register below if you are interested. Again, that is Tuesday, June 17th from 8:30 to 8:45 a.m. Our Veteran Services Department is hosting another Coffee and Donuts event at Herrick District Library on Wednesday, June 11th from 9 to 11 a.m. If you know me, you know I love a public library. They offer so many valuable community services, most of which are for free, which is fantastic. They'll be highlighting a lot of these services and how they apply to the veteran community. I think this is going to be a fantastic event for veterans and for those who have loved ones who are veterans. Like they said on Arthur, having fun ain't hard when you got a library card. Attention, artists and art enjoyers alike. Submissions for the 8th annual Ottawa County Art Trust are open now through June 18th. Since 2017, Ottawa County has partnered with the Holland Area Arts Council to display locally produced art here at the Fillmore Administration Building and select a handful of pieces to be added to the ever-growing Art Trust collection, which is super cool. There is an exhibition reception and an award ceremony at the Fillmore Admin Building here on June 24th from 4 to 5 p.m. in the main conference room. A link is going to be below for registration and more details, whether you are an artist or whether you are someone who is interested in art and wants to come and experience some of the cool local art. Because, with the internet, you see art all the time, just browsing on Facebook or Instagram or what have you. But most of it's not local, so it's really cool to get out and experience local art instead of just stuff from wherever. If you walk down the halls here at the Fillmore Building and some of the other buildings, you'll actually see a lot of art on the walls. Those were all acquired through the Art Trust events of the past. Next up, the Parks Department. You know them, you love them. They are reminding visitors to all lakeshore parks, not all parks, but all parks on the lakeshore and the Riverside Park boat launch, that motor vehicle permits, also known as parking passes, are required now that we're past Memorial Day. So anything between Labor Day and Memorial Day, our late fall, winter, early spring, don't require parking passes. But anything between Memorial Day and Labor Day does require a parking pass for those parks. This is not a new thing. This has been going on for quite some time, but it's just going into effect. It's already in effect now. So keep that in mind. You can always pay at the kiosk at the park in a pinch, but county residents, Port Sheldon Township residents have an extra special discount. Seniors, veterans, active military, anyone with an active bridge card, there are discounts available if you order online or pay at a parks office here at the Fillmore Administration Building or the Nature Education Center at Hemlock Crossing Park in West Olive as well. Link is going to be below as always. Last but not least, I'm going to provide just a real quick update on the county's search for a new administrator. We have a great pool of candidates. The day before this episode launches, June 4th, there's going to be a selection of candidates to sort of narrow down the applications that we've received officially, and then open interviews are scheduled to start June 12th. Those will be public, and you'll get to sort of go along with us throughout that process here. It's going to be really interesting, and I think there's a lot to learn about what an administrator does through that process. So make sure to keep an eye on our social media and tune in whenever possible to the public meetings. Hey everybody, so sorry I forgot to mention the upcoming board and committee meetings. The standing committee meetings, that's the Planning and Policy Committee and the Finance and Administration Committee. Their next meeting is June 10, that's a Tuesday at 9 a.m. And then the next full board meeting is Tuesday, June 24th, also at 9 a.m., both here in the Fillmore Administration Building in the boardroom. Both available online or in person. You're totally welcome to come. And for both of them, I will be posting a meeting minutes video, just a quick 3-minute summary of those meetings the day afterwards. So we're going to cut to meeting minutes here in just a moment. That is going to be the May 27th episode here. Quick addition that I forgot to include in the video is that we had a motion that was pulled from consent resolutions. That motion was to approve a $10,000 contract with Michigan Public Health Institute for staff training ahead of the Department of Public Health's 2026 accreditation. This motion failed, so the contract was not ratified. But everything else from the May 27th board meeting will be in meeting minutes, which starts... Hey there, and welcome back to Meeting Minutes, Ottawa County Board of Commissioners meetings conveniently recapped in 3 minutes or less. My name is Scott, and today we're covering the May 27th board meeting. All commissioners were present besides Commissioner Juritsma from District 2. This meeting began with a presentation from Emergency Management Director Lou Hunt about the county's response to the severe storms on May 15th and how the county prepares for these weather events and other emergencies. First up on the agenda were consent resolutions, which were items approved and sent up from the two standing committees, Planning and Policy and Finance and Administration. As always, these items are quite important, but they've already been covered in the last episode of Meeting Minutes. Those were all approved outside of 2 items that were pulled for further discussion. We'll be talking about those later. Now on to this meeting's action items. One thing you'll notice is that almost all of these items involve changes to bylaws, terms, and appointments for committees, boards, and commissions. This might get a little confusing, but bear with me. And for the sake of being too repetitive, anytime I mention a date, assume it's for December 31st of that year. Agenda item A was a motion to approve Commissioner Juritsma's appointment to the Lakeshore Regional Entities Substance Abuse Oversight Policy Board for a term ending in 2025. The motion passed. Items B and C were motions to adjust 3 of the Land Bank Authority seats to align with state law and county policy. Seat 1, currently held by Commissioner Juritsma, originally expired in 2028, but was adjusted to end in 2025. Seat 8, previously vacant, was adjusted from the previous expiration date in 2029 to 2030, and Thomas Onk was appointed to fill the seat. Seat 9, currently held by Lori Van Heitzma, had its term expiration updated from 2023 to 2029. These motions passed. Item D was a motion to approve an update to the Ottawa County Parks and Recreation Commission bylaws and rules of procedure. The motion passed. Item E was a motion to approve adjustments to the Community Corrections Advisory Board to reassign Amanda Sheffield from the general public seat to the services area seat with a term ending in 2026. The board's bylaws were adjusted to remove the previously held seat. The motion passed. Item F was a motion to adjust the Housing Commission's Ordinance 400.4.2, Section 4B, to strike a particular phrase that required the full Board of Commissioners to ratify the board chair's appointment to the Housing Commission. This motion passed. Now for those items that were removed from the consent resolutions. The first one was the resolution addressing mental health funding shortfalls at the state level. There was an adjustment to the county's recommended balance of federal and state dollars for mental health funding, and this motion passed as amended. The second was a resolution supporting funding for the Great Lakes Restoration initiative. After some discussion, this motion passed as well. The meeting ended with an update from Interim Administrator Rosema on some county business, including more information on the search for a permanent administrator. Well, folks, that's all I have for you today. If you'd like to watch the full meeting, you can find it over on our YouTube channel, and you can look at the full meeting agenda and packet at miottawa.org. And make sure to watch our official county podcast, Ottawa Out Loud, for a more entertaining and in-depth look at how stuff works around here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in 2 weeks for the June 10th Standing Committee meetings. Well, everybody, I would like to give a warm welcome, a round of applause even if you're driving, hands off the wheel, round of applause, for my guest today, Alex Doty from the Ottawa County Road Commission. Did I say your name right?
Absolutely.
I'm so worried about that all the time with everybody. It can be like Smith, and I'll be like, is it Smith or is it like Smythe or like?
Mine people screw up all the time.
Really?
So you did great.
Wow, thank you. Oh, we're off to a great start already. Now, folks, throughout the course of this podcast thus far, we have had exclusively or almost exclusively guests from within Ottawa County's government, people whose paycheck is signed by Ottawa County. Today, we're taking a slightly different direction, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in depth as we go through here. Alex, tell me a little bit about your role, what you do, what inspired you to be at this point in your life?
Absolutely. So I'm the Communications Administrator at the Ottawa County Road Commission. So I'm in charge of all the Facebook stuff that you see with our road announcements. Anytime the TV comes on and says we need somebody to talk to us about the snow, I'm the guy in the wintertime that typically gets on camera and says it's snowing outside. Drive carefully.
Yeah.
Same message, different.
Really controversial stuff.
Real challenging stuff. But,
yeah.
That's kind of that. We do weekly newsletters with construction updates. I'm in charge of those.
Nice.
A lot of times if people call the office with questions, somebody, initially can't answer those questions, I'll be the one that'll try to help out and get you an answer. It's very fun. Each day is a little bit different.
Yeah.
I enjoy it a lot. And kind of going back to your previous question, when I first started out, I actually worked in the newspaper business. So
nice.
I worked at the Grand Haven Tribune, so some people might recognize and think,
oh, yeah.
Did he work? I've seen his name before. That's kind of where I started out and
Yeah.
did that for a number of years and then just decided, I want to do something different, but kind of similar,
Yeah.
keep people informed about what's going on and kind of utilize those skills in a different way.
Well, how long have you been with the Road Commission at this point?
So I started here at 2018. So it's been, what is that, 5, 6 years, 7 years?
7.
Crazy. Yeah,
That's
crazy.
cool.
Time flies. It seems like just yesterday I got started with that.
Yeah.
Each day you learn something a little bit different. And,
Yeah.
Just when you think you've got it all figured out,
No, you
here
don't.
comes something else.
Yeah,
So
right.
there's always something a little bit different coming your way.
Yeah.
Always something new you're learning.
Oh, yeah.
But it's fun. It's
Good.
it's enjoyable.
Good. Yeah, I'm coming up on a year here, and whenever I think about that, I'm like, what? That's really strange because it's been the fastest year of my life, and I think that's a good thing. But every single one of those, 250 days or so that I've worked, it's been vastly different. I never sit at my desk and do the same thing every day, and I'm sure that your position, also dealing in the world of government propaganda.
Yeah,
It's different
It's
every-
different each day. Some days I could be sitting there, just going, what's going on, and then next thing, there's a blizzard going on.
Right.
You got to answer phones or deal with.
And it's May, and there's a blizzard.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what you're going to walk into, which
Right.
makes it great.
Do you ever? I know you're doing a lot of like press releases, and you work with the media and stuff. Do you ever do any like photo and video type of stuff?
Yeah, sometimes.
Nice.
I'm trying to delve a little bit more into that.
Yeah.
We have some stuff we've started to do on Instagram and whatnot. So
Fun.
if you have Instagram, check us out on
Times.
there.
Oh yeah, we'll talk all about where you can find Alex and the Road Commission. What's your favorite type of heavy machinery?
I really like the motor grader, which is the machine that grades the gravel roads.
You had that queued right up.
Oh.
I didn't give that question.
I remember when I was a kid,
Yeah.
I had like a little toy.
Oh yeah.
We all had the toy trucks and stuff.
Yeah.
I had a toy motor grader as a kid. My grandparents' house, I remember sitting in their like front yard.
Yeah.
They lived on a gravel road. So
Oh, perfect.
you'd see the thing drive by and then, you'd have your little toy.
It's the same thing.
Kind of playing with it in the gravel,
Wow.
And so, being able to play around those
Yeah.
now, that's kind of cool, right?
That is cool. Yeah, it's like little you would have been so proud of big you.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I sort of alluded to, we're going to talk a little bit about why I have you on here, considering that you are not an employee of Ottawa County, even though that's been sort of the theme. And the reason being, I think the big misconception that a lot of folks have, and understandably so, it can be confusing, that the Road Commission is, integrated into Ottawa County's government. Since I don't know a ton about it other than that, can you sort of walk us through sort of maybe the history of the Road Commission and how they were formed and sort of how that organization works?
Yeah, so the Road Commission was founded back in 1911, so
Wow.
we've been around a while. The legislature formed road commissions.
Yeah.
We have a 5-member board.
Okay.
That board is appointed by the Ottawa County Board of Commissioners.
Sure.
So, we're related but separate.
There's some intermingling.
Some intermingling. So we administer our own budget. We have, our own board meetings that take place every other Thursday.
Nice. Where at?
Our office on Lakeshore Drive.
There we go.
In Grand Haven.
If you're interested.
Yeah, if you see it Thursday mornings. And so
that's usually when this podcast comes out, so I don't think people are going to be able to make it.
Listen to it and watch at the same time.
Yeah, conflict there. I'll have to move some stuff around.
We're in charge of the budget and all the decision-making that goes into road projects and things of that nature. So we've been around a while.
So it's just the appointment to the board. That's really the only way that Ottawa County sort of meddles in your affairs.
Yeah, and each appointments are 6 years. They're staggered, so every couple of years there's always somebody either appointed or reappointed to the board, and they do seem to be doing a good job picking folks.
Good.
Can't complain.
Yeah. So in that same vein, obviously being different from Ottawa County's main government in most ways, funding is appropriated differently, and taxpayers are paying for the Road Commission in a different way. Can you explain that a little bit?
So a lot of folks, when they call us, they say, we pay property taxes, or say, I pay property tax to Ottawa County, which people do. Primary source of funding is through the Michigan Transportation Fund, which is made up of vehicle gas taxes. So when you go to the pump to fill up, it's that couple extra cents on the price of the fuel that you pay. That goes into a pot. Then your vehicle registration fee. So every year when you have your birthday, you got the birthday money you got to give.
Mine's coming up. Yeah.
That goes towards this as well. And then that's distributed to cities, villages, counties, and then the State Department of Transportation. And there's a formula that disperses that funding, and that's how we receive the bulk.
I like
of our
math, but not that much.
It gets very complex. I'm glad that there's people in our finance department that know what they're doing, because I'd be totally lost. That's how we get the bulk of our funding. We do have the road millage that voters approved. So that's the only portion of our funding that comes from any type of property taxes.
Gotcha.
But
and how long has that millage been going for?
That was 10 years, and then last year we received support for another 10-year millage. So it's been, I think, 2014 to 2025 or something like that, and we appreciate the support for it. So hopefully, we've been doing a good job with what we've got.
And I appreciate not having to weave between potholes every 5 feet on a road.
Well, we appreciate you not having to weave.
Because that's dangerous, I've heard. Speaking of not weaving between potholes on roads, I will express my gratitude for Fillmore, because that's the way I get here. It wasn't fun last summer having to deal with that, but it's smooth. It's smooth now, and I love it. You told me that you guys have a 5-year plan for improvements here across the county. Can you sort of spill some details on what you guys want to be improving here?
So each year we renew our 5-year plan, so it's constantly updated. And so we have a lot of projects. It's tough to pinpoint just one, because there's so many in there.
There are multiple roads in the county.
I think one thing folks will be kind of, you peak their ears now. We got a couple roundabouts. You say that word and that gets people's ears perked up. We got a couple roundabouts planned for a couple spots in the county next year.
Wow.
So people can be on the lookout for those.
As they say in Spanish, donde? That means where.
Where?
I'm asking you.
Okay. Well, flunked Spanish. So we got one at Lincoln and 144th in Grand Haven Township, Robinson Township border.
Nice.
The other one's going to be at Port Sheldon Street and 120th.
Ooh.
right
Okay.
there.
Okay. Yeah.
And then
I take that whenever I head into Holland. I'm always on 120th,
yeah.
so I'll frequent that one.
And then Baldwin and 48th in
Oh,
Georgetown
nice.
Township. That
Nice.
one's going to be done
Okay.
in conjunction with some improvements they're doing
Yeah.
there with some water and sewer work and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
Can I just say I love roundabouts? I'm a big proponent of roundabouts. If roundabouts have one fan, it's me. If roundabouts have no fans, I've unfortunately passed away. And if you hate roundabouts, you probably hate roundabouts because other people are the problem. Don't blame the roundabouts. It's because people don't know that they have to yield or that they have to go. We're going to get there eventually, guys. We're going to figure it out. Just give some people some patience.
like I said, be on the lookout for those.
You just sit there while I rant for 5 minutes about roundabouts.
It's just, we understand, some people, they can be challenging.
I mean, stop signs are a struggle
Stop
for a lot of
signs are
people.
a struggle, and,
Stoplights, red, green, I don't know.
I don't know, what do you do?
Yeah, yellow? Whoa,
What do you
jeez.
do at a yellow light?
It's a mess. Okay, so roundabouts are a big feature.
Big feature.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of, one of the things I think will be most notable
Yeah.
in the next, especially next year as we move to the next calendar
Besides
year.
your typical
Besides your
you know,
typical
strokes and
resurfacing
that.
projects and that kind of thing, which is kind of makes up the bulk of our work right now.
Yeah.
And so, we certainly are anticipating, some feedback and whatnot, but I
Yeah.
mean, that's par for the course
And
for anything.
that plan, is that like something that the public can go and take a look at and everything?
Yeah. So each year we put that plan out for review.
Nice.
So the folks can public comment on it. We have a public comment
Oh,
period.
cool.
So
We love public comment here at Ottawa County.
So that goes on our website.
Yeah.
And then we take all those written comments from the public, from our partners at the townships, and from county administration, and filter all that back into our plan and say, are we doing the right thing? Do we need to make some tweaks?
What do the people say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we take all that information, filter it in, and then that plan is adopted for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat,
Right.
each year.
Indefinitely.
Yeah.
Until we do the flying cars thing. It is construction season, believe it or not. What are some things people can expect about their favorite or least favorite roads that they traverse on these days?
Yeah. One of the projects I think people will be most interested in is Port Sheldon Street between 120th and 96th.
Sure.
Right now, you drive on that, it's like driving on the moon.
It is
Not
not
gonna
great.
lie.
I was just on it yesterday, and I was like, I'm gonna bring this up tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to talk to somebody.
So that should be in the process, if
Yeah.
not close to completion by now, as of when this airs.
Oh, okay. So that's
So that
quick.
should, it was scheduled to start at the end of May.
Yep.
And so hopefully that's underway by now. Fingers crossed. Future self.
If not, I'll be speaking to your manager.
Yeah, future self. Hopefully this is working
Yeah.
and it's going on. If not, something happened. But
Also, future self, I hope you're happy, no matter where you may end up by this time. I hope you found what you're looking for.
in Talmadge Township, quite a big stretch of road that's going to be resurfaced between M45 and Kenawai Avenue. It's Linden, Luce, Fennessy.
Oh, sure.
Quite a big stretch in
Yeah.
multiple different
That
road
Talmadge
names.
Township?
That's Talmadge Township.
Okay, I've heard that thrown around. Could not point it out on a map, but now I know.
Now you know.
Good.
Now you know. So that's going to be resurfaced up in Wright Township. We have 8th Avenue and Hayes Street.
Sure.
Between
Garfield.
and the county line.
Yeah.
That'll be resurfaced, along with, there's currently a bridge project taking place right now.
We love a bridge project.
There's another bridge project that's going to take place like down the street from the one that's going on right now in a couple months.
Sure thing.
So this summer, when you listen to this, expect that. We're going to time the resurfacing work so it goes, around when that bridge work's going on, so that it all
Yeah.
wraps up and we take advantage of multiple projects and
Yeah.
try not to inconvenience people too much.
Well, speaking of inconveniencing people too much, as I mentioned before, it's not fun going through construction. Obviously, it's great when it's done. Do you have any tips for people to, as we're getting into construction season, avoid construction ruining their day?
One of the biggest tips I give people is plan ahead.
Yeah.
So that means, you can check out our website. We have all the current projects listed. You can visit our Facebook page.
Mhm.
We typically post when projects are going to start.
That's important.
So-
And then a newsletter, right?
Newsletter.
Yeah.
Each Friday we come out with a newsletter that includes, current closures and projects,
Yeah.
plus what could be coming up in the coming week. That's important. So we certainly encourage folks to subscribe to those.
Yeah. Knowledge is power. I've always said that. And the only thing worse than going through a construction zone is unexpectedly. going through a construction zone.
Yeah. So if you
Not
if
the
you
only thing that's worse,
if
but
you-
there are worse things.
if you plan ahead,
Yeah.
you should
Crazy.
hopefully avoid some inconvenience.
Yeah.
We certainly know, I mean, not everybody's going to be able to do that. And so
Yeah.
the second big thing I tell people is patience.
Mm-hmm.
Just pack some patience. If you know there's road work going on, give yourself extra time. You don't want to be stuck in a traffic jam waiting for the guy to flip the little sign around, and you're going to have to be at work 3 minutes ago.
The power that worker holds is insane. He could ruin everyone's life just by sitting there for 5 minutes too long.
And that
Wow.
5 minutes always feels like
25.
3 hours.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I sit in it too.
Yeah.
We all do. I mean,
You're just one of us at the end of the day.
at the end of the day, I have to sit in construction sometimes and
Wow. That must feel different.
cry into my steering wheel.
Oh, my boss at the road commission is going to be so mad that I was late because of construction traffic.
I have a built-in excuse, right?
Right.
I was checking it out.
They get it. Yeah, right. I was doing,
Doing some research.
here's a photo I took on my phone. It's for social media, you guys.
Yeah.
And that, the whole, why are they not fixing the roads versus why are they fixing the roads? It's inconveniencing me is always just such a funny thing. Like, you can't have it both ways. Either the roads don't get fixed or the roads do get fixed.
Yeah,
You know?
you got to have one. Choose the red or the blue pill,
Right.
right?
Potholes or barrels.
Yeah, and we get it.
Yeah.
It's not fun. At the same time, there's a need out there to
Mhm.
redo these because infrastructure is important.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of the out of sight, out of mind things you don't think about.
Also, I'm on paper today. I just want to point out real quick. I've gone analog. I had enough of editing this and watching me sit playing around with the mouse pad on my computer every 5 seconds to keep it awake, realizing it just looks like I'm like playing Roblox or something while my guest is talking. So I went on paper. I just want to say I'm detached from the digital world, because we live in a society, and I want to make sure that I'm present in the moment. Anyway, as one is traversing through a construction zone, obviously the safety of the workers is paramount. What are some tips you can provide to people who maybe care about the lives and well-being of other people, so that they can avoid damaging the lives and well-being of those people?
Yeah, one of the things we always hope folks do is avoid distractions.
Yeah.
So that means kind of like you alluded to, going not digital, but
Yeah.
not distracted.
Lock in, people.
Put your phone down. You shouldn't have it out anyway.
Right.
Put down the Big Mac and the
Really $5 meal deal these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pay attention to what's going on.
Live in the moment.
Be present. Be present. I always tell people, that I talk to, like, if you haven't stood out there like with these workers in traffic, you kind of don't
You take
realize
it for granted.
you do. And
you
then
know?
when you're standing there, like, holy cow, like, you can feel the car whiz past you.
Right,
Like,
and you don't notice that when you're, oh, we got a car stopped on the side of the road, and you go past and you give them like 2 feet. Like, that's
Yeah.
scary.
it is. I've been out there like myself taking pictures,
Yeah.
doing stuff for our team, and it's pretty frightening. I give these guys tons of kudos,
Yeah.
for being able to, day in and day out go out there in this traffic with these, a lot of these drivers that aren't paying attention, and just, putting their lives on the line so that they can improve our roads and make Ottawa County have hopefully the best road network in the state of Michigan.
Absolutely.
That's kind of what I'm, hoping people respect that. And
Following the instructions, if someone has a stop sign or a slow sign,
Mhm.
slow doesn't mean go.
yeah,
Slow means go slow.
slow means go slow. Stop
Right.
means stop. I remember last summer we just got these new stoplights that are designed to work in place of a guy holding a stop sign, so
nice.
that like it's safer because
Yeah.
there's not somebody standing there.
Right.
Plus, it allows more people to do like actual road work
Yeah,
instead
right.
of standing
Frees up
there with a stop
resources.
sign.
Yeah.
We had those signs set up, and I remember hearing from one of our foremen saying, you wouldn't believe it, but today, like, a car blew through this stoplight
Mhm.
through the construction zone.
Mhm.
Luckily, nobody was hurt. Come on, people, stoplight, red light. It doesn't matter if it's a temporary one or one that's always on your commute.
Yeah.
We try to put plenty of stuff out there that
Yeah.
lets you know that there's road work coming, so it shouldn't be a surprise. we do plenty of work to
Yeah, right.
keep it, obvious that there's road work coming with
Yeah.
between the signs, the flashing overhead lights, the
Yeah.
workers in the bright yellow
I don't
vest,
know what else you can do.
you know,
Send a
smoke signals or, like,
Well, obviously, we've addressed a few of the common pain points, misconceptions that people have. What else? What else do you and the team hear frequently from people? That's just a matter of maybe we don't fully understand the role and the scope of the road commission or how things work.
one of the misconceptions that we get, it might seem kind of trivial to some folks, but it is a call or an email that we get quite a bit is, my street light's out. And
Yeah.
we're talking about like the ones that are like not a stoplight, but a street light with, that lights up in the dark. You'd think it's on the road. The road commission would take care of that, right?
Oh, and it's a street.
It's a street light, but we don't deal with those. That's your utility company. So if you're in Holland, probably the Holland BPW, Grand Haven Board of Light and Power, or Consumers Energy. Typically when we get those, we forward those on to the utility company.
Right.
But I know the utility companies also have, if you visit their websites, the ability to report those.
Right.
And
which
so
you're probably saving time if you just go straight to them versus
So if folks could,
use the middle.
do that, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, not that we don't mind doing the extra work, but like you said, it saves some time and gets the information to them so that they can make that repair faster. Another one, if I, can provide is, folks call us and ask us, there's a dead goose or a dead swan or a dead, unfortunately a pet on the road. Unfortunately, there is no authority or agency in the county that handles dead domestic animals or wildlife, with the exception of deer. We do handle deer, clean those up if those are reported to us.
Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah, and we do that typically once a week.
Okay.
If there's not something major going on.
If resources and people are available,
Like, if we have a severe windstorm, for example, and there's trees down and we have to go out and cut trees and clear open roads.
Take back seat.
Deer take the back seat to that.
Yeah.
Or if it's the winter time and it's a blizzard and we got to plow snow, unfortunately, that's got to wait. We have a crew that goes out on Fridays that clean those up.
Yep. And if you don't know about it, they don't get cleaned up.
Right.
So report it.
Report it to us. That's the best way because, like you said, if we don't know about it, chances are we're not going to pick it up. We don't have...
There are multiple roads in the county.
Multiple roads. We don't have antlers that can pinpoint where...
GPS antlers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah.
Anything else that could affect the experience of a Ottawa County resident when it comes to the roads that you think we can solve right here and right now for good?
I think one of the things that I could let people know is if it's an emergency situation, don't waste your time and try to email it to us or go on Facebook and send us a comment. If it's something truly an emergency, contact Central Dispatch 911. If it's after hours, that kind of thing. Because unfortunately, we can't be at our office 24/7 to answer those things. And
speak for yourself. I can.
Well, by all means.
I don't go home. So 911 for emergencies. You'd think that would just be common sense,
but we get sometimes emails
get muddy
to us that say there's a tree down over the road and it came in at like 10 o'clock at night and we're not going to get it until the next morning.
Right, because you're not at your desk checking emails at that time, but Central Dispatch, they're rocking.
They're rocking it 24/7 here at the Fillmore area.
Yeah.
So
kudos to them.
They have a direct, know how to get in touch with our team,
right?
Who can dispatch folks and get crews out there in a timely manner instead of waiting, or just it helps out and speeds up the process.
Sure thing.
It can get things taken care of.
Yeah.
And another misconception folks have is, we're the Ottawa County Road Commission. So can you fix my pothole in the city of Holland? Well, unfortunately, no.
That gets messy when you start to get into cities and whatnot. Yeah. So how do people sort of, flow chart that?
Yeah.
When do people contact you versus when do people contact another entity?
So if you live or, reside in a city or village in Ottawa County, call your city or village to report road issues.
Okay.
Because they're the ones that are responsible for the roads within that jurisdiction.
Sure.
More than
but not like townships.
Township would call us.
Yeah.
So if you live in Grand Haven Township,
give
us a call. Grand Haven City, give the city of Grand Haven a call.
Sure.
and we'll be happy to help.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, I'm sure, if someone's unsure, if it's
if
one or the
somebody's
other,
unsure, give us a call.
you're not gonna say, "Ugh, you're an idiot. Why would you call us?"
No, we're not going to hang up on you.
Staff is nice.
We'll help you out. A lot of times we'll forward that email on to the correct person.
Right.
It's just like, in the sake of speeding up the process, just to know who and who's responsible for you.
That
That'd be
stuff's
good.
confusing. I paid income tax to Grand Rapids for 2 years, and then I found out that even though my mailing address is Grand Rapids, I don't live in Grand Rapids.
Go figure.
Yeah, right? It's ridiculous. Yeah. So I got a fat refund check. So yeah, that's good to know.
Yep.
Cities and villages, you're talking to your people.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, that's a road commission. Or does MDOT get in there too?
Well, MDOT does get in there, but we contract with MDOT to do routine maintenance on the state system.
Sure thing. Okay.
So if there's a pothole report on, US 31 or M6 or I-196, report it to us, and then we will go fill that.
Okay, so it's MDOT's jurisdiction, but they say, you know what, y'all just handle it
Yeah,
anyway.
you guys know what you're doing, so you seem to do a good job on your own. Can you help us out? Sure.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Nice.
So we do the MDOT roads, so your MIUS,
Sure.
all those acronyms.
Yeah. Also, I guess an important note here, because the road commission is not under the umbrella of Ottawa County's government, it's the same thing. Like if you send us a message about the road commission or about the roads, we're not going to laugh at you and call you a fool and put a picture of you on our wall of fools. But it is going to take a little bit of time for us to forward information to the road commission. So don't hop in my DMs, don't hop in your commissioner's email and try to tell them about road conditions or anything like that. That's an important note and a big reason why we're making this episode. I almost forgot to talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to information like this and your updates and important notices for people to know, where can people find you?
Yeah, our website is the number one stop,
Yeah.
OttawaCORC.com.
It took me a while to figure out. So Ottawa CO, that's county.
County.
RC.
CORC. Ottawa CORC.
We'll link it below.
Yeah, Ottawa County Road Commission.
Also, Google exists. Just search up Ottawa County Road Commission.
We should be the number one result. If we're not, call Google and ask why.
Yeah.
There you can find all the latest news about road closures, construction updates.
Yep.
We have a list of projects that are going on. Keep a list and a map of road
I
closures.
saw the interactive map. I thought that was pretty slick.
Yeah, the interactive map is super
supported
helpful.
by our
GIS.
guys. Yeah.
And stay tuned. I'm not going to reveal anything too major, but
Ooh.
we're cooking up some stuff with them on some other things. We're not.
Let them cook.
Yeah, they're cooking. So be on the lookout.
Yeah, I cannot believe that they go up there into space on the satellite just to take the pictures and stuff for us. That's got to be tough, Rocket Man type stuff.
I know. Where's the launch pad?
Well,
Is it back here somewhere? Or we don't talk about? Okay.
no, it's privileged information.
Yeah.
You have great social media.
Great social
I saw, and
media.
it's only getting better as time goes on.
It's I remember when I started here, they had just launched the page,
Okay.
and I remember it only had 2,000 people following.
Right.
And now it's got almost 12,000.
Hey, that's
so
good.
if you're not following it,
What are you doing?
what are you doing? Make sure you check us out. Ottawa CORC is the handle,
Sure.
just to keep it consistent
Yep.
amongst all of our socials.
Smart.
Your X, Twitter,
Yeah.
whatever you call it these days.
Yeah. Website formerly known as Twitter is kind of like a Prince throwback,
There we go.
but
Symbol.
yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, those are the three major ones
Nice.
we're on. You can find project updates on there, news updates, information. One of the things I try to do every morning is list what it is our crews are doing for the day, so you kind of have an idea.
Oh, we get daily updates?
A daily update on our Facebook page of what's going on with our crews.
Yeah, nice.
So if we have, say you're driving and there's a lane closure, we'll list that. Or, why is there an Ottawa County Road Commission truck out here doing this?
Alex, I have a segment for you
Yeah.
here today.
All right.
A game of sorts. It's going to be very simple.
Okay.
The game is called Street Smarts,
Okay.
and it's true or false.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you a statement. That statement is either true, correct, and not wrong, or it's gonna be false and a lie.
Okay.
If you get between 1 and 5 correct, you're a roundabout rookie. If you get between 6 and 10 correct, you're a pothole prince. If you get between 11 and 14 correct, you're a stoplight sergeant. And if you get all 15 of these questions correct, you're a barrel baron.
Oh, man.
The baron of barrels.
Look
as they
out.
say. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Number 1, 68th Avenue in Fillmore is a 3-way stop.
68th Avenue and Fillmore. True.
That is true. There is one Cracker Barrel in Ottawa County.
True.
That is false. There's one on Kennewa, but it's on the wrong side of Kennewa.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. Number 3, 1st Avenue through 10th Avenue are spelled out with letters, while 11th Avenue and beyond are numbered.
False.
That is true. I should be keeping track of these.
You should be keeping track.
Traveling west on I-96, not 196, but 96.
Okay.
Exit 9 takes you to 112th Avenue.
False.
That is false. It's exit 10.
Exit 10?
So you're correct. Well done. Did you know that, or were you just guessing?
I was connecting some dots.
Nice.
Because I go that way quite often.
Oh, okay. All right, number 5. 44th Street is the only numbered east-west running street that extends from Kent County into Ottawa County.
I think that's true.
That is true. Yeah, absolutely. All of the other numbered streets from Kent County, your 28th Street, your 36th Street,
Yeah.
they turn into a named, probably a president for most of them.
Yeah.
Number 6, 8th Avenue does not feature a ramp onto I-196, but it does have a ramp onto M6.
I'd say true.
That is true. Absolutely. Number 7, we're about halfway through. Mercury Drive in Grand Haven Township was one of the first roads in the county built with concrete pavement.
I'm just going to guess and say true.
That is false.
Oh.
It was one of the first ones to be built with blacktop or asphalt.
Okay.
Number 8, I drive a fully electric vehicle.
True.
That is false. I drive a plug-in hybrid.
Oh,
Which
man.
is really the best of both worlds. I get
You get...
like 3/4 of my commute all electric, and then it kicks in the hybrid engine with gas just for the last little leg there, and it's great. I get 100 miles per gallon. Number 9, anything south of 32nd Street in Holland is in Allegan County.
True.
That is true. Yep, you got it. US 31 runs from Mackinac City, Michigan to Spanish Fort, Alabama.
True.
That is true. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a fun drive.
That's a long road.
I
Have you done the whole thing?
I haven't done the whole thing, but
Okay.
I've done the Michigan.
Oh, going up north.
Going up north.
It's always a pretty drive.
Very pretty.
Yeah. Number 11, Ottawa Beach Road is approximately, almost exactly, 4.4 miles in length.
True.
Yeah, I kind of gave that one away by
You're being
divulging.
very exact.
I
on
was
it?
divulging on the approximately versus almost exactly.
Oh,
I
yeah.
gave that one away, yeah.
I was like, he did a lot of math and wording for this to be false, right?
It took me a really long time to figure out how to measure the distance in Apple Maps.
Oh,
I spent 10 minutes doing that. It's so embarrassing. Number 12, Lake Michigan Drive contains 0 stop signs as long as you're on Lake Michigan Drive.
true.
That is actually false.
Is it?
The intersection with Lane Avenue in Grand Rapids.
Oh,
You thought I meant just within Ottawa County. I didn't
did.
say that.
You didn't.
I didn't say
You didn't, man.
Well, we persist, nevertheless. Number 13, if there is no posted speed limit, the default is 60 miles per hour.
False.
What is it?
55.
You're correct.
Hey, remember that one, folks.
Some people think it's 75.
Some people think it's 85.
Yeah. Number 14, Kennewa Avenue does not intersect with Lake Michigan Drive.
False.
That is true,
man.
unfortunately. Yeah. Number 15, last one. In 2015, MLive reported that Waverly and East 8th Street in Holland was the most dangerous intersection in Ottawa County.
I'll say true.
That is unfortunately false. They reported it was North Beacon and Jackson.
Oh, man.
Haven.
Oh, man.
Yeah. How did he do?
Boo. No.
I always like to pretend that I have a producer, we
Yeah.
actually have a budget for this.
Yeah.
We hired someone to tally everything up. No, this is all me. There's no one back there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which makes you a pothole prince.
Hey, I'll take it.
That's a big win,
That's-
I would say.
I'll bear the crown, you know?
I made the scale difficult on purpose. I thought Barrel Baron would have been sweet, but that was
Pothole
I
Prince.
that's above average.
That might be on my LinkedIn handle now
Yeah.
or something. Or
an 8 out of 15. That's above a 50%.
I'll take
that would
it.
pass you in
That
a lot
would-
of classes. Good news. Anyone who gets pothole prince or above is eligible for a very heartfelt and creative gift. Let's see if I can reach it from here with my short arms. Here it is, straight from a local vintage antique store. We talk a little bit about how really a lot of the problems we have on our roads, people driving, the people who be using the roads, unfortunately. And hey, driving methods and rules for company drivers. Thought that'd be a nice little, hey, you forgot how to drive. Here you go. I believe that was from 1964.
Wow.
Is what the antique shop said.
That's pretty interesting.
So yeah, I thought it might be a fun read. I didn't look through it at all. It's totally.
I'm afraid to take it
totally
out of the
fresh.
package.
Hey,
it's like,
get around.
does it
Like a
reduce the
baseball
value?
card.
Is it reduce the value if you take it
PSA
out?
10 graded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't want to ruin the value of something.
Hey,
This is going to be, I'll frame it, put it in my office. Get one of those little, like the little box.
yeah, like a shadow box
Shadow
or
box?
something.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I don't know if anybody's ever framed one of the silly little gifts that I give them.
First
Yeah.
for this episode.
Hey, a win is a win. Alex, thank you so much for joining us here on Ottawa Out Loud. Appreciate you and look forward to working with you in the future again.
Oh, we definitely should.
Is there anything else that you want to say before I turn those cameras off?
Just, like I said, follow us on Facebook.
Yeah.
Follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, drop a like. I'm going to link everything that we talked about that has a link down below.
Yeah.
So make
Sign
sure
up for our newsletters.
Do it.
Do it.
Come
please.
on, do it.
Get it.
Come on.
No, I think that's it.
Okay, cool. Cut. All right. Hey, that was a pretty fun segment, very informative. I had a really good time learning about how the Road Commission works. And like a lot of people, before I started working here, I assumed that, Ottawa County had like direct control over the Road Commission. And I didn't know that it was kind of a separate thing, but there's also, some intermingling. It was also interesting to learn about some of the projects they're working on and the way that they approach the balance between, hey, let's fix the roads, and hey, I gotta get places. I can't be doing all this construction. I know I've never had any crazy detours or anything like that. Like I sometimes get closer to the city, Grand Rapids. I appreciate that, and I appreciate Alex's openness talking about all this stuff and his insights into it. And I hope you did too. As always, please make sure you are liking or rating the podcast episode on your platform of choice. Make sure you are subscribing or following us so that you can get the next episode delivered straight to you and you don't have to worry about missing it, because that would be a shame. We also do have an email list. I send out a newsletter almost every episode whenever I don't forget. So if you're not big on the apps, the Spotify and the Apple Podcasts and whatnot, and you tend to watch on your computer, getting the newsletter via email is a great way to make sure that you actually get it. And I just send out podcast stuff. I don't send out a bunch of spam with that. I don't have time to do that. Link will be below for that, believe it or not. So thanks again for tuning in to Ottawa Out Loud. I have been and will continue to be your host, Scott. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode. And remember, knowledge is power, and local government works best when you're a part of it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.